Morning Motivators, Taren here. We are doing something new today, revisiting an old favorite of yours. So, years ago, like 5 years ago, I ended up doing a daily vlog about my triathlon training, and that's what was like the catalyst to growing this entire channel. Now, I think the reason, from what we hear from people as to why that was the reason that it grew, is because people liked following the journey of somebody. It's evolved into this YouTube channel being a business, and I've now done triathlons for 12 years and am just kind of moving on to more of like entrepreneur in the fitness industry and not training so much, so I haven't done as many training videos. But I thought back to what was really interesting and really cool to share was a unique perspective that I had on a triathlon journey. And I have like a unique perspective now on the journey of being a entrepreneur in the fitness world, which I think a lot of people are kind of curious about. Like, what is making me right now is not training the house down. I'm really only able to train maybe about an hour a day. The aspect of trying to grow motive into something that is significant in the endurance world, like a Strava, a Zwift, a Whoop, a Peloton, I think that's worthy of sharing. So I figured we'll share it. And I've never introduced the company to you, really. So something that NTK and I have been doing is, since we moved to Parksville, we come to the community beach and bang out a little kettlebell workout. It's very nice scenery. Woo, all right, I'm done, 30 minutes. Now I got a hell of a pump, a lot of lactic acid. So over the last couple of years, it seemed like every person with more than like 20,000 followers on whatever platform they use to post things has an app. What is happening with a lot of those apps is like there's a platform behind the app that can power all different kinds of apps and just put a different person's name on it over and over. But that person really doesn't have any more control than maybe what workouts are on there, or it's like a glorified YouTube channel. Our app is an actual app. I want to show you the scale of what we've built. And well, when I say we, the team and I, because we've got a whole team. It's 18, 20-ish people, depending on what day you count. This is a postcard that we sent to all of the Motive ambassadors. This is just like the surface of the team that we've got. The people that do the majority of the work that manage the app would be Leighton up here. Leighton is our head developer. He's the head of technology. And then his wife, who is actually expecting their first child today, is Carla over here. Carla is our designer. She's our head of design. So the two of them work only for us. They work with Xenia, who is our project manager, and Xenia is off in the Ukraine, and Xenia manages a team in another development company that scales with us. So if we need 4 developers at one point in time, we use 4. If we need 12 at one point in time, we use 12. And we can develop for iOS, on Apple phones, on Android phones, on the web. And it's the app that we own. Like, it's our app. It's not some skin of somebody else's app. And yeah, that's our development team. So upwards of 12 people at any one point in time. Next to Xenia, if you've gotten an email from us over the last few months, Judith is a health coach and an email marketer. And then you've got Kim, NTK, who is still just doing push presses over there. She manages all the customer service of the app, and that itself is a couple hours a day. Then you got this guy right here. I work on the vision of what the pipeline is, what the next features are. When do we integrate to Strava, Training Peaks, Garmin, Wahoo? Spoiler alert, basically they're already launched. The app now integrates with all those. What you might notice here is that there are a couple people on here who I'm not necessarily introducing you to. This is where it gets to be like, startups aren't always just out there killing it and getting on the cover of magazines. We got headwinds that we're dealing with that I'll explain to you. I'll give you just a really brief little tour of this bay. It's beautiful. So, this is Google Trends, so you can type in any search term that you want and see not exactly how many people are searching for something, but the trends of it. So just to show you what's going on in the endurance sports industry over the past few years, I've typed in triathlon training, marathon training around the world since 2004. And the red is marathon training, the blue is triathlon training, and you can see that we are at literally basically all-time lows, that the industry is slowly shrinking. And here, April 2020, when COVID happened, and normally we'd have the annual tick up, that everything just crashed. So here you can see that the average for triathlon training is 12, and it's hovering at around 2 over the off season, so down upwards of 80%. And marathon training, it's sitting at 10 right now, where normally it's around 45. So again, down upwards of about 80%. Tough times. That's a lot of headwind for a company in the endurance training industry. So while yes, we have just launched integrations with Strava and Garmin and Wahoo, and these are all really exciting things that startup life, it's kind of like 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, 4 steps forward, 2 steps back. 3 steps forward, 1 step back. Kim found a post last year that said operating in a tech startup is just like constantly going back between manic episodes of sheer excitement and crushing depression, sometimes within 10 minutes. And that's kind of what it's like. Because yeah, I think that we have a good thing, and this is just saying like triathlon training and marathon training in general, where I think the thing that's working for us is that there have been a huge amount more people that have taken up fitness with something like Peloton, and those people are eventually going to want to challenge themselves a little bit more. These are also people who are now all of a sudden very comfortable with getting training online through an app and not necessarily a one-on-one coach, all of which is in our favor. So when the world comes back to normal, I think that we're really well positioned, but this here just shows you that it's not a free lunch all the time. So in the case of that postcard that I showed you, we had 2 people there that I didn't introduce you to. One being the person that was running our content marketing, doing all the blog posts online. We just had to tell him and hit pause for a little while until we know what's going to happen with the industry and if races are going to come back in 2022. And the second person in there who was doing the community management for the Motive Ambassadors, she just found that she couldn't find time for it. And as a startup, you're constantly in this mode of like, well, we kind of have enough work for a part-time position, but not necessarily full-time. So it's hard to hire somebody part-time. So you end up losing a lot of people just because you can't grow fast enough to fill full-time positions over and over and over. So yeah, we've got great things happening, but also those 2 steps back over and over. And that's kind of the hard part of it, but it's also the interesting part of it, figuring out how do we overcome these challenges. That said, we do have, I think, a really cool thesis on what we want the app to be that is going to make it really unique and really beneficial for all of you. Now that we have all of these integrations, there's some really cool things that we can do with customizing your training experience and making it much more enjoyable so that your gratification of all the work that you're doing doesn't have to be delayed until race day when you get a medal. You can get gratification reward from it every single day. And we're actually raising an investment round right now so that we can grow. That too is very stressful though. But again, fun stress, challenging stress, stress that makes you learn and think. So if there's anyone that you think we should talk to for investment, if you want to get in on helping out with the community management of the app, or if you like this format and want to know more about what the startup life is like or anything about the app in general, hit me up with a DM on Instagram. I think I want to share more about the behind the scenes of what we're trying to build, because I think finally, after 3 years of figuring out what we needed to figure out to make the app really cool, I think we've got something really neat that is going to grow a lot. And I want to share that with you. So, with all of that said, if you want to come along for the ride and see what we're doing, hit the subscribe button below. Later, motivators.